funding for the production of this program provided by the Albuquerque Tricentennial. And New Mexico Tourism, driving New Mexico's economy. New and exciting adventures in the outdoors, culinary tourism, ecotourism. Information is available about events, the State Centennial, and so much more. Be enchanted at newmexico.org. The ballooning capital of the world, and so much more. This is Albuquerque. For more information, itsatrip.org.
This is really exciting.
How's it going?
Hey. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
I had the limo waiting. Yes. Caviar, some cheap champagne.
What did you say?
And some old peanuts.
It's Fiesta!
Hey! Oh, there you go.
Again!
All right, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Glad you made it.
Yeah, I
Another
know.
year.
Croatian pilot lost mom and dad.
I think they're upstairs. How many bags are missing? Okay, where's she at?
There's always that moment, that anticipation where you see Albuquerque for the first time. You just get this sudden feeling like, okay, we're here. You know, Fiesta's happening.
All balloon baskets, regardless of the manufacturer, is wicker. So we ended up starting the Wicker Clan. Learn two things very quickly. One, don't walk in front of the inflator fan while you're wearing a kilt. Second thing, don't throw your legs over the side of the basket.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hoću pozdraviti sve vas tu u Novom Meksiku i reći sam uzbuđen što sam ovdje i morate doći na Fiestu i snimiti hrvatsku ekipu i zagrebački balon i doći na Flight of Nation.
Oh, and I look behind me to see who hit the ground, you know, and I see my envelope going. I was like,
I just said I was very excited to be here, and big hi to everybody in New Mexico, and you got to come to the Fiesta, and you got to come to the Flight of Nations, and you got to see the Croatian balloon take off, and I want to hear everybody cheer. And I didn't cuss much.
I mean, it's not a membership, it's not anything it's a philosophy that we all believe in being good ambassadors for ballooning and friends, fun, and flying. And we actually put it in that order for a reason.
There's Albuquerque. There's our home for the next 10 days. Here we come.
Well, the sun won't be up for about another hour and a half, but our dawn patrol pilots are getting their fans ready for inflation and a pre-dawn flight. All right, how about a flicker burn for the dawn patrol pilots? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Flicker burn. This morning, Craig Kennedy is flying his father's balloon as a tribute. Here comes Kevin Clooney's balloon with the Wicker Clan. Most of these pilots have been flying in the Dawn Patrol for the last several years. It's become a regular tradition at Balloon Fiesta. And of course, it's not only fun for us to watch, but the other pilots want to watch too, because they need to know which way the winds are headed, so they'll have some idea how to begin to plan their morning.
Dawn Patrol, when you take off, and there's this tens of thousands of flashes lighting up like stars of the Milky Way. enough, you start to see the halo over the Sandia Mountains. Usually at that point, I'm over the Rio Grande, so now I got the best of both worlds. It gives me a chill. It gives you those little goosebumps. It's just unbelievable.
Well, welcome to the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta and the world's largest balloon ascension, the Balloon Fiesta Mass Ascension. Over about the next hour and a half, you're going to see over 600 balloons representing 24 different countries launch from the field right out here in front of us. So as we're getting started, you'll hear the sound of little gasoline motors powering fans that are blowing cold air inside the envelope. The launch directors then will come around and give them the okay to go to hot inflation, and they'll light the burners and begin to shoot that flame up inside the envelope. When the air is hot enough, the envelope will rise up and the balloon will be upright and ready to take off and be part of this great mass ascension.
Mass ascensions. That's kind of the crown jewel of Balloon Fiesta. That's where everybody gets to come and play from one field.
I describe it as being in New York City for the first time, where you're surrounded by all these huge buildings. It's just like it's never ending, except imagine all those buildings moving around you.
So there'll be two waves of balloons taking off this morning. There's just too many to get off all at once. So the launch takes place in such a way that there aren't balloons flying over the top of other balloons. So today, as usual, the wind is blowing from north to south. So the launch directors will start at the south end of the field and move north through the pack. There are three groups of balloons out on the field, and the south end and the north end will begin launching at about the same time because there's enough separation. And then that center group of balloons will begin to launch. And just as they're launching, a whole new wave of balloons will begin laying out their balloons, getting ready to inflate. Well, there's sort of three parts to a hot air balloon. The envelope, the big balloon part of the balloon, the colorful part, from 50 to 120 feet in diameter and just as tall, made out of a special ripstop nylon. And then there's the gondola, the basket, usually made of, on the outside at least, wicker or stainless steel and fiberglass, and inside held together by aircraft cabling. And then the burner sits in between them. It's fueled by propane tanks inside the basket and shoots a flame about 30 feet tall up into the balloon. For liftoff, the pilot needs to get the air inside the balloon to about 100 degrees warmer than the air outside. The air gets cooler as they go up, so less fire is necessary, less heat. And the balloonist is reheating, continuing to heat the air, and that's that whooshing sound that you hear.
I think you know what 600 balloons might look like in the air, but you have no concept. If you go to the smaller rallies, it's awe-inspiring, but this is just awe-inspiring.
putting all these colors in the sky in various angles and shapes. And the whole sky is painted. Look like gumdrops everywhere you look.
I will always remember the first time I flew off the field. You could look and there was just balloons everywhere.
It's really fun to watch people race from balloon to balloon and look from one thing to another. They have no idea how grand this is going to be, and it is glorious.
When we are up in the air over the field, it looks like a pinball machine. It's just beautiful.
And get everybody in the air at once. The sky kind of sparkles.
I'm going to guess the pilots will be about 600, and then about times 3 or 4 for crew, so it'll be probably 2,000 to 3,000 people will come through here.
Here's your complimentary waffle. There you go. Thank you.
Food Network, eat your heart out.
Waiting to be fed. Like birds in the waffle line waiting to be fed.
The Fiesta started in '72 with only 13 balloons. The big radio station was having a birthday party. And so they asked, they knew I had a balloon. I had one for about 2 weeks and stuff, so asked if they could have an inflation at their birthday party, and they had it at a shopping center.
We thought a big birthday balloon would be good, and we'd been seeing the publicity about Sid flying around town and having his balloon and starting a balloon club. And
so I said, sure. I said, we can have an inflation. I said, how about a balloon race? They said, what's a balloon race? I said, I don't know, but I'll find out about it.
Sid's father was a barnstormer, and Sid grew up as a tot in his father's lap flying airplanes. So he loves being in the air, and he loves aviation, and he's not the least bit uncomfortable about any of it.
So I asked the guy from the Federation of Balloons, how do you have a balloon race? He said, well, what you do is send one balloon out in advance. We call that the hare balloon, and then we let the hounds chase it. All the others chase it, and the one that lands the closest to it is the winner.
But we wanted to make that New Mexico, so we changed it to a Roadrunner Coyote race. So the Roadrunner takes off first, and the Coyotes follow 10 minutes later.
That morning we went out there at 6 in the morning. There was like 20,000 people there, and I guess it caught me by as much surprise as it did the Albuquerque Police Department, because they sent one policeman on a horseback.
And he showed up and had the same, I'm sure, the same response I did. Oh my goodness, what have I gotten myself into?
And I was quite surprised when you couldn't even find a place to park in the shopping center.
I've been up this early since I had to get up and milk the chickens back on the farm.
Are you a balloon enthusiast?
Well, after today, it's the first doggone hot air balloon race I've ever been to.
You gonna go up?
But, no, well, they said that they might take me for a ride. I don't know if you get as many guys as going to have to take to hold me in that basket, whether they think you get off the ground or not.
Well, everybody was having a great time, you know. Second year had 132 balloons, and then 200, then 300. Pretty soon, 1,000.
Not only is a huge mass ascension of 500 or 600 or 700 balloons a really important, sensational part of the Balloon Fiesta, but the fact that that mass ascension usually turns into a ballet overhead because of the Albuquerque box makes us completely unique and makes it even more breathtaking.
Balloons are dependent on the wind. They go with the wind. Your only controls that you have is the ability to make the balloon go up and make the balloon go down. So how do you steer it?
Now the way we steer, if you really call it steering, is at different altitudes, the wind blows generally in different directions at different speeds.
The air masses get cold up in the mountains. The Sandia's here, Sangre de Cristo's up north. And as that cold air migrates down, comes down through our valley. The regular flow is from the south to the north. But that cold wind kind of slips in underneath and create a box effect. You can fly low and go south, go up a little bit, travel back north, come back down, go south again, and it's called a box effect.
When the Albuquerque box is working, it's unbelievable. It's like catching that perfect wave.
A lot of pilots who will utilize those winds will actually be able to take off and fly south. They'll be able to come up and fly back north and be able to land relatively close to the place where they took off from.
Anytime that you can go back from where you started in a hot air balloon, that's a fun thing.
We flew all around for an hour and a half and landed 10 feet away from where we took off. That's the Albuquerque experiences.
Anything else? Okay, weather.
300 it's at 5, at 400 it's 7, at 600 it's 10, at 800 13, at 1,000 15, and at 2,000 13.
The weather guy says we got a lot of week with a lot of good weather ahead.
What do we do?
Safe, coordinated launch.
You guys have a great day out there.
The zebra is a critical person at Fiesta.
Zebras become a part of your crew. They're your safety officers. They're your eyes and ears. They're the ones that help you launch.
You are launching a federal aircraft.
So they're back up and they're looking at the airspace and see where we're at. And they're pointing to the nearest balloon that's in my flight path. They want me to come forward and they're giving me the hand signal. Be walked out of my launch site. Then they're giving me the thumbs up that says, you're clear to go.
You're clear above!
And then a lot of times it ends with a way of saying, have a great flight.
Zebras are the launch directors of the festival, and they're also the fun directors of the festival. I couldn't afford to dress them all up in some special costume, so I went out and bought referee coats, and they took it from there and now called zebras, you know, and they go nuts with it.
I get up at 3:30 and it takes me about 10 minutes to put my makeup on.
They are a fun group of people. They have to be. They get up at 3:30 every morning and try and launch 700 balloons safely. So they got to really love what they do, and they do.
I love all the zebras. You know, they come up and say, nice hat.
Below you always has right of way, so if the balloon below you starts coming up and you're above him, you're expected to go up and get out of his way, and someone above you is expected to continue going on up and getting out of the way.
You're responsible for all the balloons below you.
That's right.
And you count on somebody being responsible for you if they're above you.
That's why I say in traffic like this, these guys don't make real rapid. They're not going to be going up and down very quickly because they can't always tell how much traffic they're in. They want to be making very finite movements in a very gentle way so that they don't endanger anybody else who might be above them or below them.
In the days when I talked about flying and never seeing an X, in those days, if you got within a mile or two of the target, you're
right.
okay. You're going to see this morning where these targets are going to be just covered with markers right in the center of them. I mean, it's the contests are measured in centimeters now instead of.
I've actually seen contests where one marker was on top of another, and it was a matter of who got on the ground first, and the one closest to the ground is the one that actually wins.
It can look pretty impressive from the ground, like a bunch of bumper cars, but there's a lot of intent there.
During the weekdays, we have competition events, half of which involve pilots taking off from the field and flying to target somewhere downwind. The other half of the pilots then taking off from somewhere upwind and flying across the field, where targets are laid out on the balloon field.
There are 5 days of competitive flying scheduled.
Competitive flying tasks. That's where the baggy drops occur. Those type of tasks with the balloons all coming to one point, seemingly, where you're seeing balloons kiss, where envelopes are touching envelopes, kind of bouncing off of each other. From a pilot standpoint, those are a lot of fun.
The idea is to get as close to the target as you can. So I'm burning to go up, venting to come down, and I'm going like this, and all these other balloons are going like that, and hopefully I get there. Quite often I do.
The competitive events are cumulative. They're scored individually each day, but they also accumulate over the 5 days, and that determines the ranking at the end of Fiesta.
First amount of excitement is discovering I'm really going to fly over the field.
And as you come down to the ground and you pull out your marker and you go to throw it.
Just take my left hand and I throw it at the X, and it rolled out right to the middle of the X. It was absolutely beautiful.
Dead center drop. Nicely done. Little heat, make sure he doesn't touch the ground, so that's disqualifying.
I always tell you about target fixation. What target fixation is you get so concerned about the target itself that you forget to fly the balloon.
It's the adrenaline of being near a target, having the opportunity to score.
And what happens is you drop and you lose control and you touch the ground. If you touch the ground, you're disqualified.
We did try.
I have the best seat in the house in my job, which is right out there on the field, with the field all roped off and the crowd kept at bay.
I wouldn't want to be a scorer. Those poor guys having to measure within tenths of inches because there's so many that get so close.
Heads up.
The scoring device is basically a little sandbag, and it's a pre-measured amount of sand sewn into a nylon bag that has a streamer.
And they're calculated, I don't remember right off the top of my head, well, it must be about 6 feet long.
And then those markers will all be brought back here to the scoring trailer.
There wasn't a big variety of events in the early days. So
198 feet, 1 inch.
we'd go out and put an event on called the tumbleweed drop. Tumbleweeds don't fall straight down, see? And it goes down and every which way, and they think they're going to hit the target, but they can't. The aerodynamics of a tumbleweed really snows them. So
100 feet, 8 1/4 inch.
We had to have a big bonfire afterwards there, the ones that did get in the field. And so we finally dropped the tumbleweed drop, but that was one of my early ideas.
Go step by step, put the balloon up, and then once you're in the air, just take it task by task.
You need to know where the winds are. That's the most important part, because you need to know exactly when to descend or when to climb.
When you get to the target, it's more like holding the baggie, and just, the whole burning part just flows, just goes naturally. we went dead center of the target. We were like right there. But I was sort of thinking when to throw it, when not to throw it, and I was like looking back, and I didn't throw it hard enough. After that, you sort of feel stupid, you know? You get straight to the target, you're right there, and then you sort of miss it. And it's like, oh man.
One of the most difficult tasks, or challenging for the pilot, is the fly-in task.
It's going to be a long day, though, to get to that field from here.
A lot going on, a lot of thought process. There, they'll tack those winds just like a sailor, trying to get the aircraft where they need it for their drops. It is exciting. It's fun to watch. It's fun to do.
There it is. Feel it? Little breeze there.
You're schooling on the different balloons in the different layers, and those layers will change. And so what may be there 10 minutes ago is gone.
Yeah, let's try up another 20 feet.
You need to know where the winds are. That's the most important part, because you need to know exactly when to descend or when to climb. So you're going to watch everybody else. Everybody else is your guide.
See anybody coming this way? We're moving slowly, Wes. We can start down pretty soon. We may not make the pole, but we may make the field. Don't let down on top of anybody here.
When you get into that kind of close competitive flying, you want to get lower, but there's one below you, and can you wait him out and maybe slide down the side of him? It might get nudged by somebody. It might help you. It might knock you completely out of the way.
I'm going right at the envelope. The wind's right. We're going the right speed. We're the right altitude. We've got this thing. Matter of fact, we've even spent the money in our minds already. Move us out of the way. He's going to get DQ'd.
That guy screwed us up.
What do you say, Ohio?
So one of the favorite events at Balloon Fiesta, not just for pilots, but even more so for us spectators, is the pole grab. And you can see on the launch field, there are targets set out on the ground, but also there have been erected 5 poles. And on the top of each pole is an envelope with a prize inside.
On top of these 30-foot poles are these little standard business envelopes. Prizes range from cash to the keys to a brand new vehicle.
It'd be like Christmas because you don't know what's inside it.
They'll maneuver their balloons so that either the pilot or someone else in the basket can reach out and grab one of those envelopes, still keep their feet on the ground, so to speak, in the basket. Literally take the envelope with them and fly on.
Disqualified. That's no fair. People think you can steer these balloons, but you can't really steer them. You find a wind going the way you want to go. Reach, reach, reach. Burn, 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 burn. he knocked it off the pole, but he didn't get it in the basket.
It's not just the pilot that excited, you know, the pilot and the crew and everybody associated with that particular balloon, just having a ball.
Two down, a lot of broken hearts.
I never got one. Close, but I never got one.
They come running back here afterwards, just waving those certificates and going, "What did I win? What did I win?"
Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta champion pilot, Johnny Petrin.
We're burning, we're venting, we're trying to find a spot just big enough to put our balloon into the right spot. We're watching other balloons fly by and grab the poles, hearing the crowd roar. It's just a fantastic sight. The best thing's sitting on this pretty Harley Davidson, and we're going to take it back to Kansas.
Okay, would you keep an eye on the lights as to whether they're yellow or red for me? It was yellow. I caught it as I was going through.
Not only are you trying to chase one of 700 balloons, but you're having to negotiate around all the other crew members.
Okay, you're a chase vehicle. You'll understand.
Single is down and we're safe. We're going to pack up and meet everybody on the field.
My balloon is called Sunshine's Ride, so we call it SR. So SR to SR1 is the primary chase vehicle, then we have 2, 3, and 4.
SR1, it looks like he's heading towards Corrales.
10-4, copy that.
And of course, what my intention is in reality are two different things. And of course, the crew knows that too.
Go up Alameda and turn north on the Chevron and make your first left, you should catch me.
Because they're on the ground and they're watching what all the other balloons are doing.
I'm going to pull over in here and look and see where he's at. See, he's dropping down, he's coming back. I'm going to stick this way. If you'd like to turn around and kind of stay under him if you can.
10-4, I'm in the marina parking lot, so give me some kind of idea, heads up, so I can get there. Stay there, most of the stuff on the ground is going south.
10-4, copy that. I'll stay here until I get further word.
Good morning.
You don't mind if we just swim on by? Go ahead, Chase.
Would you like to give me a trajectory so I know which way I'm going out of here? So go back up Jefferson instead of Alameda.
10-4, copy that.
It is a little bit of a hare and hound for the crew, and it gives them some excitement.
We lost visual when he sank below the trees and did a splashing down.
Okay, I got a visual.
We see you now, we're down a dead end, we're turning around.
I have to land on that house if I can.
There he is.
Yeah.
This is a great spot. Good job.
And the crew is unbelievable.
Hang on.
There's an expression in ballooning that says, without crew, we're all hitchhikers. And it's exciting when you start to get to your crew because it becomes your family.
I would say probably Balloon Fiesta is 50% about the flying and the enjoyment of actually getting up in the area and being able to enjoy the weather and the flying conditions. And the other 50% is the party.
Go Wally, go Hopper, go Wally, go Hopper, go Wally.
All right, everyone had a good flight, did they now? All right, when we finish flying, we come back to the field and we have a little first flight ceremony. Give you a little history of ballooning. All balloon pilots have a first flight ceremony.
They don't have a clue.
They do not.
Ours is a little different. As you see, a little over 200 years ago, the McGoffey brothers were sitting at a Parisian cafe, and they were watching the young lasses that would walk across the steam grate. As they walked across, the roofsters that were popular back then would catch some of the smoke and they'd get a little ankle. But they were actually paper manufacturers by trade, so they went back to the factory and they manufactured something that they called an envelope, which is still what we call the colorful parts of a hot air balloon. And they thought it was smoky things that made things rise, so they grabbed dead animal carcasses, they grabbed rotten hay, they grabbed recalled Firestone tires off of Ford Explorers, things available in the 1800s.
Let me tell you, what we do out here is every year we have Oktoberfest out here, and I wear my lederhosen.
So they talked the local farmer out of a wicker cage, and they grabbed some animals, and they threw some animals in the cage. The first one they threw in there was a little rooster. And they grabbed a little sheep.
We have a Margaritaville party every year.
Here you go.
Cheers. So as the balloons would come down to the ground, bellowing black smoke, the hose, the steels would come out with their pitchforks and weed whackers and punch holes in the balloons. So the balloonists had tried to figure out a way to fix this, so they got in the habit of carrying a bottle of champagne with them. And as they got close to the ground, they'd show the king seal, because the lads couldn't read it.
Catch a cork, get a free ride.
Hit it! Oh, you missed it. One down.
So when they got close to the ground, the peasants in the field would come out and help them pack up the balloon. And that was actually the beginning of Chase Crew. What we'd like you to do, if you would, is set your libations down there on the ground, and we'd like you to kneel behind it. So everyone had a good flight? Okay, good. Okay, and you flew without wings, right? Yeah, think about it. We were flying in a hot air balloon. There was no wings on that craft, was there? So today, we're going to ask you to drink without your hands.
Right? Right, okay.
Ready? The winds have welcomed you with softness. The sun has blessed you with its warm hands. You have flown so high and so well that God has joined you in laughter and set you gently back into the loving arms of Mother Earth and the Wicker Clan.
Don't fail! Do not fail!
I get a wet top. Yeah. Oh, golly, she got you good. Perfect. You got to wear it all day for good luck, okay? Okay. Good. Congratulations. Welcome to ballooning. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Do you want a card, young man? The kids, they just get so thrilled, and it's so rewarding to make them so excited about something.
Well, so welcome to the Special Shapes Rodeo and Glodio. And tonight it's going to be a Glodio. And the balloons are going to stay on the ground, but be inflated, and we're going to have one of the most amazing looking balloon blows you have ever seen. They're going to stay on the ground. They're going to keep inflating the balloon. We'll try a little bit later to do some organized burns, like a flicker burn and hall burn and those sorts of things. And you're going to have to help us by counting down so the pilots will know when to turn on the burners.
The colors, the vast colors and the array of colors, the way they glow, the way they pop out and jump at you. You can stand back, you can take a look from afar and see all of that all at once. It's a stained glass window. It's beautiful. It's absolutely amazing to see.
When they all glow now, and you're out amongst them, the whole place lights up like it was daylight.
The awe-inspiration that comes in when everybody fires off those burners all at once. You can feel it. You can feel the crowd, their appreciation of it. But when you're attuned to it, you can feel the rush of the air. You can literally feel the wind that's created from that burn. You can always tell the ones that have never been there before. They stop dead in their tracks and they just stare. And as soon as it stops, as soon as it dies down, it's like, wow, when are they going to do that again?
Special shapes are in a world all their own.
You think your balloon's big until you find out the special shape is 4 or 5 times it.
It's like the difference between driving around in a little sports car and driving a freight train.
They're envelopes 1,000 pounds, and so mine's 242, and so you need just a lot more people.
Oh, okay, and you wind them together like that?
Yeah, that just kind of sort of gets all the Velcro. It makes it real good. They'll spin on each other like this really well.
We make it look like a cartoon that's been run over by a steamroller.
That's what's the most fun, turning piles of fabric into these big, fantastic shapes.
Well, so there are 77 special shapes this year for the Special Shapes Rodeo. As you can see, as the balloons are inflating, this is a little more difficult process to inflate and launch a special shape balloon. With a regular hot air balloon, a crew of 4 or 5 would be plenty. With many of these special shape balloons, you need up to 20 people to help make sure the fabric gets spread out properly. The balloon gets held down until each compartment of the envelope is full enough of hot air to lift up. And so this is the only place in the world where you'll see this many special shape balloons all in the air, all on the ground, all at one time. It's the largest collection of special shapes in the world.
You must be here to understand what I say. If you don't go to Albuquerque, you cannot understand the feeling.
It gives me a special thrill, a little bit of tingling when you see the special shapes when they inflate.
The technology, the engineering of making those balloons now has developed so much that they can make a shape of almost anything. So each year it's just amazing, the new stuff that comes out.
Hey! Here comes the pig farm here.
We see it on pictures before coming here, but in real it's more beautiful.
Look at the bumblebee. You got
The force is strong in this one.
So I have two passions in my life: Star Wars and balloonings.
There is Darth Vader. May the force be with you. He is back with us again from Belgium. His father and son team who fly Darth Vader.
your voice.
It's a little party.
Every squad, yeah, there's that.
Oh, you'll know.
Yeah, right.
The 501st Legion is an international costuming organization. Our favorite line is, "We're the bad guys that do good."
The Legion is a big family, and I meet members of my family here in Albuquerque.
I'd like to go ahead and show you my Star Wars collection. Star Wars action figures and the toys. This is just part of my collection. Not all of it will fit here. Wanted to be my own action figure, join the 501st Legion with a Biker Scout costume. Right here in front of the Darth Vader balloon from last year. My wife took this picture. It's my favorite picture of all time now. That's me in all my Biker Scout glory.
We do security and crowd control and keep people away from the balloon so they don't step on it, tear it, and so that they stay safe. Our job is Imperial security.
We appreciate this, and it's very fun for the public and for us. In Europe, I don't have this, only here in Albuquerque. We love this.
You're kind of like a rock star because you're just surrounded and they're just like, oh, I want a photo, I want a photo, I want a photo, I want a photo. They go crazy with us, and then the second the balloon stands up, then just
I was like a little kid in a candy store the first time that I saw the Darth Vader balloon.
When we take off, it was indescribable.
You just look at it and you just want to stare and you want to stare and you want to stare.
Maybe you don't like Star Wars, you don't see the movies, but you know which one is Darth Vader, you know it's the bad guys.
well, we're not bad guys. We're the legal and lawful government of the galaxy. But Darth Vader, I mean, you know, he's our boss, and he's a good boss as long as you don't mess up. You know, flying around the city, that's nice. Some good PR for the Empire.
Basically, whenever we get ready to fly, we have to do a pre-flight inspection. Because we have experimental balloons, they haven't been engineered, and the engineering hasn't been supplied to the FAA, so they're one-ofs. They're like custom motorcycles. So we come in, we check all the real extreme points, the ends of the load tapes, around the appendages, looking for fabric holes that we might have picked up on the last landing. So it's just it's a general inspection of the entire skin of the balloon. Of course, we can't see what's on the ground, but we can see what starts to inflate. We're standing in the base hot air balloon, and then the arms and the legs, the wings, they're what we call appendages, and they right through these portholes. The air migrates in through this porthole and it inflates. This is the arm looking down to the hand. You can see these free tapes that are hanging. This helps keep the head down, tied to the bottom of the balloon. It's attached to the neck, so that helps keep the body nice and round. Otherwise, if you didn't have these load tapes going up the side of the balloon would elongate as soon as you stood it up, so that helps keep the body in shape. From the shape of the panels to the load tapes to the little tiny curtains, even these curtains are helping to hold the integrity of the shape of the little bead. So then once we're done in here, do a pre-flight on the outside of the balloon as well.
By the time we add the heat, the
balloon is almost fully erect.
We look back and forth to each other and we give each other a thumbs up. Both balloons are ready. And we both hit the burners pretty much at the same time. And we bring them up right together at the same time.
The legs take a little bit more work. They're down a little bit lower, and so that's a part of the balloon that inflates later. Then, of course, because we're holding hands, we want them to take off as quickly as possible. It's fun to hear that initial, roar of the crowd as we launch, but it's also great then to hear the second roar as they come together and kiss.
They want to see the kiss.
Yeah.
They'll ask for
They really do.
Hey, if the balloon's going to kiss.
What's the secret behind making them kiss? It's magic. The goal is to keep the hands together. We've also found that Lily can be slightly higher, which forces her hand to press into Joey's, and that'll keep us together longer. If there's a wind turn that comes from the right, then Lily will climb, and chances are she will bend and twist into Joey and kiss him. If it's the other way around and Joey comes higher, we stand the chance that the hands might rip loose, but chances are the wind will push him into her. Sometimes it goes the other way and they go feet to feet, but 9 times out of 10, they'll go and kiss.
It just depends on the guy or the girl who wants to kiss who.
When the last day hits and you finally walk off the field, all the balloons are gone. It's a nice relief feeling. We did it. We did it again. We got another 9 days under our belts. Kind of seems like it's a long way till the next one.
Thank you guys. As Kevin says, without you, we could not do this. Safe journey to everybody that is traveling. Thank you for coming and being with us. And we hope to see everybody back again next year.
Physically, you're glad. Mentally, you're exhausted. So I'll probably just cry. It's just sad to see everyone go.
I'm a pretty cynical old guy, but I still get goosebumps when I see the Balloon Fiesta, when it starts to happen. And at the end of the week, having seen so many old friends, having watched weddings and family reunions and little children looking up amazed into the sky, it's just, it's the most rewarding, fulfilling experience I can imagine.
Even as long as I've been doing it now, it's what, 37, 8 years, I sit there and watch it until the last balloon lands.
Every year it's been grander and better than ever before. I'm going to keep coming back for a very, very long time.
It never ceases to amaze me. Cut.
Balloon Fiesta is available on home video for $29.95, which includes shipping and handling. To order your copy, call 1-800-328-5663 or order online at www.knme.org/catalog. Funding for the production of this program provided by the Albuquerque Tricentennial. And New Mexico Tourism, driving New Mexico's economy. New and exciting adventures in the outdoors, culinary tourism, ecotourism. Information is available about events, the State Centennial, and so much more. Be enchanted at newmexico.org. The ballooning capital of the world, and so much more. This is Albuquerque. For more information, itsatrip.org.